Hello, this is Dr. Thomas Lucky. I want to talk to you today about success. And learning how to be a success, you have to learn how to be a failure. Because it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up and keep trying. So like Thomas Edison, who discovered the light bulb, actually he tried about 10,000 times. And on the 10,000th time he said he was not a failure, but he was actually found 10,000 different ways that it didn't work. And that's the way life is. It's actually based off of failure. When we fail and we continue on, we look in our past and we try to figure out what's holding us back. Because the programs of our past can hold us back from our future. And really what happens is when people go back to their past, they get bogged down in their past and they repeat the same programs over and over and over again. So the definition of insanity is to keep on doing the same thing and keep on getting the same results. And that's exactly what people go through in life. And so perception determines also success as well. Because what you think may be a failure, what you've dealt with and what you've done throughout your life may actually be a success in someone's eyes, or you may be a success in your own eyes. So it just depends on what perception you look at things to determine whether you're a success or failure. So if you feel like you don't need to attempt something in life, then this is typically what you see of someone that has not failed enough. The deal is when you fail enough, then you actually recognize that you're a success. And so that's funny how life actually gives us this trick to deal with. And people just need to recognize that if they wake up each morning, and just like God paints a sunrise and a sunset, He uses air, water, and sunlight and scatters it around. And the simplicity of the complexity we try to figure out, but there's nothing to figure out because it's just there. It's just being in the present. It's just a collection of memories from the past actually that determines who we are today. And we're not to continue going back to those times, recognize those, acknowledge them, and then move on. Realize what we have now and what we can do better now, and actually evaluate the risks and the benefits, and then start all over again. So to keep going, not to give up. A lot of people, they give up. And it's just like the economy is in a horrible situation at this time. There's a lack of jobs, there's a lack of opportunity. But they can't just say, oh, it's over and throw in the towel and just rely on the government to actually fund their situation, or they're going to be in worse shape in the long run. They have to realize that they are a success, and they have to realize what's within them that drives them, that motivates them, that gets them to the point that they are committed, challenged, and actually in control of their own circumstances. And it's like I have patients that come to me, and we've had people be on their deathbed, and you would ask them how long do they have to live, and they would break down, start crying, and start talking about how their children are going to not have a mother and this type of stuff. And you said, well, you've got to stop that nonsense, because the doctor can't give you any length of time of anything, actually. They can give you their best estimation, but that's not proving gospel, what they actually have to say. What you've got to look at is you've got to look at your circumstances, your situation, what makes you tick, actually. Find out what hadn't worked in the past and realize, hey, maybe I need to change my life and take responsibility for my life, and actually take the information that you have now and move on into your future with that information. Because fear either comes from the past or it comes from the future. And if we're confident and we're comfortable with our present, actually, we don't have to worry about our future. But the problem is people are not comfortable with their present because they've not experienced the present, actually, and they want to go back to the past program, and that keeps them in their same rut that they've been in for all these years. And so what happened is the people actually, when they recognize this, they take control, and they see that there's a point actually they're at right now, and they start seeing themselves where they need to be in a month's time, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and they actually set goals, and they actually reach these and are able to attain these goals. And if they don't attain the goals, they move toward them. And when they move toward them, that's all that matters anyway, because you've got to do your best and God will do the rest. If we don't do our best, we don't take responsibility, we cannot believe that God is going to step in and do the part that He will do, because we're going to rely back on our failures, and our past is going to cloud our future. So this is the whole issue with health. When patients come to see me, I try not to have any expectation, and really when I have no expectation, then I actually do not limit the process. I call the limitation of expectation. People they expect to get well, they expect to have this, they expect to have this, and whatever actually in their life. We go through life in the present, we don't have expectations, because expectations come from the past. And they're driven by the past. They're driven by lack. They're driven by want. We have to desire to get well, and when we have the desire to get well, we won't allow anything to stand in our way or obstacles in our way. We'll be committed to take responsibility for our health, and amazing miracles take place. It's like, for instance, I'll see a lady come in, and I like these by the way statements, because you're dealt with them for 3 or 4 hours, and all of a sudden they say, by the way, I have this mass on my leg, actually. Would you look at it? I said, well, I don't know. If you do what you're supposed to do, you'll probably get well on its own in that situation. But then I'll just have a second thought, and I'll say, oh, yeah, let me take a look at it. And take a look at it, and when I look at it, it disappears. And so what happened there, I have no idea. I didn't have anything to do with it. I just looked at it, and then it disappeared. And that's the way miracles take place. They take place when you don't expect them to take place. When you spend the whole time on something else, and all of a sudden it just happens, because that's what the present's all about. It's not about living in the past. It's not about holding on to the past or the things of the past. It's about looking into the present and actually becoming one. Just like the air, water, and the sunlight that actually God makes every day to make the sunsets. He puts us all together. We're all one. It don't matter if you're red, black, yellow, green, orange, whatever color you are, actually. He made different colors, and there's just a splash of one. And if we recognize that and quit bickering about things and actually take responsibility for our own health, and not compare to each other, and not have the pride and ego that is out there today, actually, that's what drives us down. That's what destroys the country. That's what destroys the world, actually. And it actually disempowers us. When we become one and unified in one purpose, one objective, and amazing things can happen and will happen in your life, spiritually, physically, mentally, financially, and every other way. So again, I want you to remember this. You're not a failure. You're a success. But you got to keep on failing in order to be a success. Have a good day.